So next up, we have a multi-brand online retailer, and their story is a pretty incredible one. They truly embody transformation at scale. As the UK's largest integrated digital retailer and financial services provider, the Very Group delivers thousands of products to millions of customers. But how do they ensure that their digital experience is fast, engaging, and personalized, especially on such an enormous scale? The conversation you're about to hear will take you on their journey, from legacy systems to real-time agile content management that facilitates millions of updates with zero downtime, even through peak periods. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Karen Stothers, Head of Technology at the Very Group, and Brian MacMahon, Key Account Director at Amplience.
So it's great to be here in Abbey Road Studios, where we've had some incredible performances and musical acts from Liverpool create some of the greatest music we've ever seen. Delighted to have Karen here from another incredible Liverpool export in the Very Group. So yeah, Karen, thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
I sat here, not here, but in Ministry of Sound last year with Muck, and we had a chat about the project that you guys were undergoing. And you were kind of mid-project, I think, at that point. So I'd like to maybe take you back to the beginning of that and try to understand what were the reasons you decided to go down the approach of a composable structure from your legacy setup.
Yeah, no problem. So as you said, you spoke to Muck last year. We are a number of years into a major digital e-commerce transformation. We've been 16 years on our legacy platform, ATG. It served us phenomenally well. It was our chosen platform of choice when we decided to move from a catalogue retailer to online, quite a transition for us. But obviously it's legacy, it's become a burning platform over the years. All of our content, our business logic, our front end, everything was absolutely wedded to that monolith ATG. Fragile, slow, complex, everything you've heard everyone else talk about today. Even simple content changes for us were bringing the site down. It just wasn't efficient and effective anymore. So the turning point came, as I'm sure Muck talked about last year, was when our ambition massively outpaced our platform capability. You know, we're a department store retailer and a financial services provider, and we just were losing the capability to be able to bring those two functions together and really make that customer difference. So we needed speed, we needed flexibility, we needed a better customer experience. So the decision to move to a composable architecture was easy for us. We launched the program that we've called Skyscape. It was 2 to 3 years. We're now in our final year. We're about 75% of the way through that migration, and we can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and look forward now to moving forward to really customer propositional change rather than just foundational background.
Super. I know you mentioned speed there as being a key for you guys. I know across all the retailers I talk to, speed, getting things live faster is something that you guys work on all the time. So you've gone from weeks to get things live to days now, or less than a day for product launches. What were the changes in process that you had to do to make that possible? And I guess, why did you choose Amplience to be a part of that?
Yeah, quite a bit. Maybe give a bit of context actually. So as part of that legacy platform, it was on premise. It was heavily customized. That was our first transition in understanding what e-com really meant. We hosted it ourselves. Like I said before, all that content, business logic, front end, everything was just wedded to it. So the simple changes I was talking about, such as homepage banners, were often taking up to 6 hours to make any sort of changes. The site had to be taken down. That's just not practical for us. And that would mean a midnight cut off, trying to limit that impact to trade. But we're a department store and customers are always wanting to shop our site. So we had to limit that to 2 changes a month, which again meant that release backlog was constantly building up. So as the ambition and the strategy was changing, Composable just became the absolute way forward for us. It's broke up the monolith. It's allowed us to focus where we need to focus. So the presentation layer, we've taken the decision to build in-house. And we've partnered with Best in Breed across all of the recon providers. So yourselves for content, we have a product discovery partner, an identity and access management partner, and a commerce partner, just so we know what we want to focus on and our priorities about that customer experience and that front-end presentation layer. That now allows us daily. We're making daily changes. It's so much faster. Amplience already our digital asset management partner. Our roadmaps were aligned, our ambition was aligned. It was a no-brainer. The CMS is intuitive, it's easy. Our teams refer to it as easy as Instagram. You're uploading things straight away. It just takes that complexity out of everything. So with the phased approach, we've moved forward with you guys, and it's a success.
That as easy as Instagram is definitely getting
easy as Instagram.
That's going to be on social later. Yeah. So this the transformation. People hate change, right? It's obviously a big change for your teams to go from that legacy platform into a new platform. Even though we were part of it with the DAM and now going to the CMS and that full changeover. How has that impacted your internal teams? How have you seen process change? Have you been able to see efficiencies gained across the teams in kind of the process they're working on?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a game changer for us because we've been on quite a journey with all of this stuff, and we embarked on pulling a bit of a project team together really to help us to understand it. Our process was fragmented, it was manual, it was really difficult, and it was across many different parts of the organisation. So we put a project team together to really understand what our end-to-end content supply chain meant and how we could really start to move that forward to make it a more unified, scalable model. And with your guys helping understand some of those problem statements we've now created a new content operations squad, which really brings together that business front end, allowing them the ease to make the changes they need, but with that support of a dedicated tech delivery product function that's really aligning on that roadmap. We've introduced the role of content engineering just to start to bring together that front and back end and to take some of that pressure off the business users to allow them up for innovation. And the back end team are just more working on that integration, how we really drive that roadmap with Amplience. Content, it's no longer requiring huge amounts of development time, and the governance workflows that are all built into it, is making it much more of an efficient process for everyone. We've enabled new skills. We've obviously upskilled them. We're not hung on legacy niche skills, such as ATG, that, you've got single points of failure in your business. We've got the opportunity now to really retry, reskill in-house developers, in-house business teams, as well as go-to-market. And also a bit outside Amplience, we've also enabled our merchandising teams with a new search and browse experience, which is allowing them to really open up that personalization and shopping experience. So I think the change has been groundbreaking for us. It's driven some real efficiencies, and Amplience has been a huge partner in that for us.
Yeah, the process map that you guys have developed across the squads is super impressive. Yeah. Seeing everything that happens to create content at your side and the speed you work at it's really cool.
Quite lengthy. I think it would wrap this wall. It was quite cumbersome. Yeah.
And you've got a huge SKU count, massively diverse kind of product range, lots of different customers. How are you looking at personalization? How do you treat all of those different customers, and how do you work on the different content that you can use to go across those different customer bases?
Yeah, I mean, most of you will know, composable architecture and picking those right partnerships, they really help with it all. Like I say, we've already started on that personalised product offering journey across search and browse and our recommendations. We're really leaning into leveraging our customer clickstream data and really understanding what that digital data means for us and how we can start to leverage that in all of our decisions and customer experiences. But this is really where our partnership is going to shine, right? It's a flexible content model, and our future roadmaps absolutely aligned. We're looking to integrate it with our in-house personalization engine that we're calling Sigma IQ, which for us is going to leverage that financial services element, our millions of customer attribution data points that we've got with the retail trading capabilities, all wrapped up in the usable right points of content we want to surface at the right time. Our goal is absolutely about serving relevant content across both web and app, at the right time for the right trading priorities. So there's loads to go at. We're almost envisioning a bit of a world where we can see from the data, as I say, we're a department store. So customers are coming onto our site. They're trying to shop TVs. You can see through the data that they've had multiple journeys. They've been on multiple times. It's not quite ended in the right experience for them, but with the right content, guiding them through more of a personalised, targeted journey with the right products, with the right offers at the right time, will hopefully start to turn that into a conversion point, which will be key for CRO for us.
And the right payment methods as well. I know you've
absolutely done. Leveraging that financial services and that retail element for us is absolutely key in what our strategy is underpinned in.
And a multi-year project going composable, it's a big undertaking to take, right? There's cost involved in it, etc. But you've seen commercial and business kind of improvements since then. Can you talk a little bit about the tangible benefits you've seen, the impact that the move to composable has made?
Yeah. And it's still early days, right? So, there's loads still to go out for us, but you can see it just in that time to market. We've literally gone from days, weeks to hours in day, and that kind of changed for us. The market is fast paced, everything's moving so quickly. Our ability to be able to proactively trade but also react in line with the market is absolutely key. So those in-day changes from an operational perspective and that reduction in time to market has been pivotal, especially as we get into peak trading. Peak for us is 40% of our annual sales. It's huge, so that ability is perfectly timed for us. We've improved the consistency and the quality of content, and we're really seeing that in our customer engagement metrics that we're starting to capture. And there's so much more, we want to go out with that. And like I say, by bringing together that team, we've really freed up our technical capabilities, and our focus in that space now is turning to innovation, automation, optimization, all of those things. So early days, but the signs are promising, and there's definitely more operational benefits I think we're going to reap from it in the long run.
Yeah, the process work, I know that we've been talking about huge operational efficiency goals there as well. So that's definitely
definitely.
Yeah. And you've been going through this process for a little while, and it's been the core focus, right? I know for a lot of the team. Have you been able to start to think to the future? What's next after the project is done? How do you look to evolve? What are the next things that you're looking for in terms of content innovation, AI, automation, those types of areas?
And I think that's what's really exciting for us. And I think I was talking to a couple of people actually in the break about it. Is for the past few years, all we've talked about as a very group is we're on a journey, we're on our transformation. And we can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? So but that strategy and that innovation, that ambition, it's never really gone away. It's just always been in the background with the limitations of what we've been able to do. So we have been trialing some stuff. AI and automation is absolutely embedded in our strategy as an organisation. We're currently defining what our long-term AI strategy should be, as well as our personalisation strategy, and how they complement each other for both customers and colleagues, right? So it's servicing both needs there. Working with the Amplience innovation program and really keen to see how you guys can help with some of our problem statements. We're still quite new into the journey. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but there's loads more things we can go out there. Like I mentioned before, we've already partnered with our discovery partner on search and recommendations, and we continue to explore that and do some stuff in that space. Looking at examples, a virtual shopping assistant, making that more of a curated, engaging experience rather than it being really transactional. So lots around product copy, buying guides, SEO, personalization, all the things, data-rich points that there's just so much we can go after. I mean, at the end of the day, our goal, I think, as everyone's would be, here today, is to really free up the teams. It should be about innovation. It should be putting the customer experience at the heart of what we're trying to do. Technology should absolutely be an enabler, not a blocker. And I think for quite a while, that's how we've almost been a bit restricted in that space. So really excited to see how we can move all that forward.
Yeah, and I know from the beginning with Amplience, you were one of the first customers on the CMS. You're now one of the first customers working with us on the new AI product that John talked about earlier. So very excited with some of the use cases we're looking at with you and how we can find some efficiencies. So yeah, really exciting for Amplience working with Very for the future. So I want to thank you again, Karen, for being here and telling us a little bit about what Very is doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.